What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hockeytown University. You are here with us, your beautiful hosts, once again, Matthew and Zachary. What is up, everyone? Matt, welcome back.
Boy, oh boy, I'm doing fantastic. I know we're a podcast, a Red Wings podcast. I guess I gave it away, but I want to talk about the Lions first, man. Oh my
Sure.
God, they are in the conference championship for the first time ever since '91. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, so
91.
it feels like the first time ever for me, at least in my lifetime. And yeah, it's been absolutely insane.
Matt, honestly, it very is weird. Once upon a time, we were a sports city that was dependent on the Red Wings and the Detroit Tigers. And yeah, can't be thankful enough for what the Detroit Lions are doing. I'm excited for them. It's been since 91 on the NFC Championship game. And yeah, it's been pretty much since the 1950s that they ever went to a championship game in general before it was even named the Super Bowl. It's great to be a Detroit sports fan, Matthew. So why don't we go ahead and kick it off with some Red Wings sports stuff? That's what we're here for. We are a Detroit Red Wings podcast. You almost had it right the first time, buddy, but I won't get that upset with you because go Detroit Lions. Matthew, before we kick it off, though, we have to stop for a moment and thank the fans for stopping by if you are returning. If you are new, thanks for stopping by. We definitely do appreciate that. But why don't you go ahead and just hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. 50% of you that aren't subscribed to us are viewing our stuff. So please go ahead. That really does go a long way for us if you do like what you're listening to or watching, however you're viewing us, because you can find us on Spotify too. Hit that thumbs up button, rate us 5 stars, follow us, whatever you got to do. And let's get it underway, Matthew. Frowns turn upside down here on Hockeytown University. So let's go ahead and kick things off with a couple of Red Wings recaps, and then we'll go into some Red Wings news, the main topics. That's probably why you clicked on the episode. And then we will kick it off with some juicy around the league news. Matt, it's been a very exciting day. And today is Wednesday, January 24th, 7:30 p.m. for y'all reference. So Matt, let's go ahead and kick it off. We're going to go into the Detroit Red Wings versus the Tampa Bay Lightning game. That was on, what day was that on? Monday? Sunday. That was on Sunday.
The Tampa Bay, yeah, that was on Sunday. I remember it was right after the Lions win, and I'm happy I mentioned that because I think it was actually like the official Red Wings account tweet out that they were showing the end of that game like before the Red Wings even got on the ice. So that was awesome. And watching that game like in the lower bowl, like it felt like it was half blue and half red, which usually you only see at a Toronto game that comes here. But those were all Lions fans. All Lions fans who just came over from Ford Field. They probably had one of the best sports days ever that I could think of. I mean, going from a Lions playoff win to later on a Red Wings win, I mean, you can't have a better sports day than that.
No, 100%. And yeah, that was a very exciting day. I don't know how I could forget about that. And I recorded on that day too. So pardon me. But yeah, what an exciting day for Detroit sports fans in general. You had the Detroit Lions beating Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then the Detroit Red Wings playing against their Tampa Bay counterparts, the Tampa Bay Lightning, beating them 2-1 with your number one goaltender, King Alex Lyon. Matthew. There's still no Kane. Ben Sherratt's I think it's his first game. He was injured in the game previously, so it is technically his first game out. The Wings did recall Brogan Rafferty. You'll hear his name quite a few times in this episode.
More than you probably ever thought you'd hear in your life.
Yeah, more than likely. So, yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off, Matt, shall we? And so, yeah, to start off the game, Hedman gets the Bolts on the board first, working well with Kucherov on the passing. And let me tell you, it was some fantastic playmaking by those two. And there's a reason why Kucherov is one of the top players in the league in leading and scoring. And Victor Hedman is always in the race for the best defenseman in the whole entire league. So, yeah, Bolts 1-0, 9 minutes into the game. But continuing on with the game, Rask, Hop, and the Fisher line is playing very, very well within that first period and had quite a few opportunities late in that first period too. And they've been clicking as time continues on. So it's great to see that our third line is finally gaining some chemistry and going out there and being pests for the opposing teams. And that's played very well into how the January outlook is that the Red Wings have put in this season. So we'll talk about that obviously going further. But yeah, 1:30 left in the first, and Raymond ties it with a nice rush by Dylan Larkin and a pass back to Raymond, who is able to rip it, and Vasilevsky does tap it in to try and make the save. But yeah, it kind of just like floated in there a little bit. It went up top. Vasilevsky didn't really know where it was, tried to make the save, and yeah, just kind of tipped it in, Matt.
It felt like one that really should not have gone in, but I guess I don't know if Vasilevsky like didn't know where it was. I think sometimes like, you know, there's goalies who are pretty aware in the crease and they know where the puck is at all times. Even when they can't see it, they have like a sixth sense, like eyes in the back of their head. And I think he just didn't really know where it was and had no clue. It was just sitting right there and just poked it right in.
Hey, his bad fortune was our good weather, right? So good on us.
Yeah,
good on Raymond
if that's an expression, sure.
Yeah. Good on Raymond for getting that goal. Like I said, Wings lead 12-5 shots after the first period, and Lightning did not register a shot on net since that Hedman goal at the 9-minute mark. So the Tampa Bay Lightning went 11 minutes straight in that first period to not get a shot on net. And so good on the Red Wings for playing really good shutdown defense on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, yeah, like we were saying, Matt, earlier, this team is fighting for a wild card spot, much like the Detroit Red Wings are. So, yeah, continuing on, Lucas Raymond, very close. I'm bringing his name up again because he was very close to walking in on Vasilevsky to take the lead 2-1. But, yeah, Raymond is pretty much taking a page out of Patrick Kane's book, Matt. He is looking sharper and sharper as time goes on. And it's becoming more and more of a fantastic signing to have Patrick Kane on this team, because not only is he providing production in terms of points, but he's providing production in terms of knowledge to the young players. And really, I want Jonathan Berggren up here so he can learn from a Patrick Kane too at this point. And I would love to see Lucas Raymond and Jonathan Berggren on a line together. I think that would just be absolutely disgusting. Continuing on with the game, Sprong on a breakaway on a bad Lightning break, hitting Comfort and takes advantage to make it 2-1 Red Wings with about 10 minutes left in the second period. Yeah, good goal by the Red Wings there. Wings then go on the power play soon after and then get a 5-on-3 opportunity, which ends, and so does the power play. Good kill by the Bolts there to keep the game within a 1-goal game. Wings take that period all day, leading the shots 30-10. Matt, we never see a Red Wings team like this where after 2 periods they're up by over 20 shots against the other team. And we're talking about a strong Tampa Bay Lightning team here. And based on some of the statistics that we'll go over later, it'll make a lot of sense why I'm shocked that the Red Wings even have 30 shots by the second period. Are you just as shocked as I am?
Man, I mean, this team sometimes doesn't even finish with 30 shots in a game. They did in the second period, first and second period. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about Tampa. I don't know if, like, every time Lalonde coaches against them, it's like a personal revenge game for him, but they seem to always bring out the big guns and just try to absolutely take it to Tampa, which I'm totally fine with. That's a main division rival right there. I would love it if they could play every single team in their division like that, and I mean, for the most part, they do. But, what an effort. And, you know, it's ironic that I was saying that Vasi hasn't really been great this year because, if it weren't for him, it was for him that game was not uglier, honestly. Right. Like, that should have been a blowout, honestly. But, yeah, really good effort by the Wings.
Yeah, good effort by the Wings, offensively, and good on Vasilevsky. Much like you said, I have him in fantasy in one of my leagues, and he gets me negative points, what seems like almost every single time that he's in that.
Yeah.
So, if it wasn't for him, even for Kucherov, I would say for Kucherov and for Vasilevsky, if it wasn't for them, the Lightning probably would not be in the spot, because the other goaltender, Johansson, that they had was not getting the job done for them. But yeah, like I said, good on the Red Wings for taking advantage of that. We want to see more of this, right? Where they're leading going into the third period by 20 shots over than the next team. But continuing on, Matthew, the Ghost Bear plays goalie and stops one going in from Luke Glendening, former Red Wings legend. But Wing go to the penalty kill because Sprong got caught for hooking. So do you miss Luke oh my goodness, Luke Glendening at all?
I haven't really thought about him until you just mentioned his name.
You said that last time too. I brought up a player. Who was that last time?
I mean, if I don't think about them back then, I'm not going to think about them now. So don't really
fair,
know what to tell you.
fair enough.
The
Yeah,
only the only former Red Wings I miss from that era is like Tatar and Nyquist. That's about it.
all
And I
right.
guess Jimmy
Yeah.
Howard too. But he retired to Wings, so it's fine.
Yeah, Matt, honestly, with this game, a few minutes later, Wellman goes off for high sticking. The boys kill the penalty. Vasilevsky is a god, and Pultz pull their goalie less than 3 minutes, and Petrie puts the puck over the glass with 11.5 seconds left, and the Red Wings pull through. Game over. Red Wings win 2-1. Overall, just a very, very strong effort by this team overall. I mean, going over and looking at this, Daniel Sprong gets the first star of the night. Then you got Alex Lyon, who only allows one goal, gets a 964 save percentage of the night. Vasilevsky, of course, gets a third star, only allowing a 2.15 goals against and a 943 save percentage. But Dylan Larkin continued the point streak. Like I said, Lucas Raymond continues looking hot. He's looking better and better. Kind of especially ever since Patrick Kane got injured. I know that's kind of weird to say, but it's almost like Lucas Raymond has kind of put the burden on his shoulder willingly to kind of be that Patrick Kane-esque player where he's going out there. Matt, I kid you not, a couple of times I've seen him. He's been walking the defense, trying to go in on the goaltender and attacking like a fearless leopard on the prowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily strange because like the fact that Kane is out, I think Lucas is now getting the bulk of his minutes that
Yeah.
Kane was taken up, and I mean, there's a good reason why he's the guy that they've been leaning on. Like really, this whole season he's been really good. I think just I don't even really know if he's been outshadowed by Patrick Kane necessarily. I know he's kind of taken some top line minutes from him, but he's still in the top six and he's still playing with line mates who will be able to get him the puck, and he can more importantly make plays and get them the puck to have them score too. So yeah, I think you're really just seeing Lucas Raymond taking up the mantle, I guess, so to speak, and just saying, listen, we miss Patrick Kane, but I'm gonna go out there and make his loss not hurt so bad. Although it does hurt kind of bad.
It still kind of does hurt,
It,
yes,
it does.
but I mean, the Red Wings are kind of doing just fine without him, right? But yeah, it was great to hear that he actually was practicing today. He was not a full participant. I was going to say that later. I might as well say that now because it is relevant. But yeah, hopefully he's back before the Red Wings go on their long 10-day break during the All-Star break. Once February comes around, they will play on the 31st against the Ottawa Senators. But after that, yeah, the Red Wings have 10 days off. And so he could be back before then. He could be back after that. Is it important to get him back before then? No, I do not think so, Matt. I'm sure you would probably agree with me. I think a lot of people would agree with me.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
just not in a situation to rush him.
honestly, like the team has not looked that bad ever since he's been out. I mean, it's not offense or missing; it's defense, and Patrick Kane doesn't provide defense, so we're not really missing that part of his game.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I mean, he has been playing a little bit of defense. Like it is there, but it's not the strongest defense that we would ask for. But you're absolutely
No.
right. We're missing him, but we're not missing him. It's right. And so, yeah, we want him back. We want him to be back healthy at 100% or closest to 100% as possible. So that way we don't have to worry about another issue like this happening in the future. Honestly, Matt, it seems like he really just bruised his butt really hard. And so he just needed a couple days to just recoup. And honestly, that's fine. I'm cool with that. As long as it's not the hip. We're awesome.
Listen, man, we've all been there. We've all bruised our butts before.
Oh, yeah. Multiple times. And so, Matt, yeah, continuing on, just kind of talking about this game. Yeah, the Red Wings showed pure dominance. I mean, they did go 0 for 2 on the power play, but they did have 35 shots on net. Like I said, by the end of the second, they had 30 total. And so only 5 shots in the third, okay. But you shut down the Tampa Bay Lightning team who always seems to claw their way back. And they're one of the sole reasons why the Red Wings kind of chose to sell off some players at the trade deadline last year, where Vasilevsky had to come in and stand on his head and shut us out. I'm pretty sure it was like a 40 or 50 save night when he did that last season. So
Yeah, close
good
to
on the Red Wings for getting this win against a tough divisional rival. Let's go into the next game. And by doing that, we are going to talk about the Red Wings losing to the Dallas Stars 4-5 last night, Tuesday on January 23rd, 7 p.m., where Alex Lyon was in that again. Yes, your king, Alex Lyon. He's been killing it, Matt. He's been the team MVP so far in 2024, for sure. Probably right next to Dylan Larkin, But yeah, Brogan Rafferty sent back to Grand Rapids Griffins on Monday. So, and then he was recalled back from Grand Rapids Griffins on Tuesday. So you're going to hear his name a couple more times, like I mentioned. But Ken Daniels says Larkin is the last player since Nick Lidstrom in 2011 to have 2 8-game point streaks in the season. That was so shocking to hear, Matt. Like, that really made me feel old and made me feel really, really depressed that we actually went that long without seeing anything like this. And it never occurred to me that, like, oh, when was the last time a Red Wings player had 2 8-point streaks within a season? And then you heard Ken Daniels saying, you're like, bro, why'd you just do that to me? Like, that really hurt.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of depressing, but then, like, think about it this way. It's like, well, of course, we haven't seen a player on the Red Wings or in the NHL like Nick Lidstrom. He's literally one of the best players in league history. So
Yes.
I kind of get it. But yeah, it's still surprising.
Yeah, and so going into the game, Matthew, Stars get on the board first. Once again, the Red Wings letting in an early goal, or at least the first goal in the game, too. I mean, however you want to look at it. They get it on the power play. The Red Wings got on the PK because of too many men on the ice. Robertson to Jamie Benn, who was backdoor where Wallman can't freaking tie up a player to save his life. That happened another game ago. And I kind of called him out for that. And so, yeah, that continues to be an issue. But then again, it's not his fault that the Red Wings were on the PK. So it is what it is. That's on the coaching staff for getting the too many men on the ice. So, yeah, Stars go up 1-0. But, yeah, then you got Petry, who gets called for holding for literally just pushing the Dallas Star player. I don't know if you remember that, Matt, but that was pretty early in the game,
that
too.
was just insane.
Yeah, but luckily the Detroit Red Wings close it out. And so Wings then finally get to go on the power play with 7:27 left in the period. And the Wings did end up converting with Daddy P sniping it in. Probably the best power play this team had all season, keeping it in the Star zone. I think those Stars cleared it once and they barely cleared it, Matt. And the Red Wings just maintained staying that same shift out there the whole 2 minutes on that power play. And yeah, Daddy P was able to rip it. And so with that, then you got Pavelski actually right after the goal, who high sticks Petry, and Wings go to the power play. And then you got Alex DeBrincat getting his goal, which is his first goal actually in 11 games, man. And I would know this because I also have him in fantasy, and hasn't really been that great as of late. So, yeah, but what a pass by Daniel Sprong. Holy hell, the Wings lead 2-1, and they're leading 12-7 shots to end the first period. So, yeah, much like you said, very good first period by the Detroit Red Wings. They maintained the momentum. They carried it through. They looked like the better team against a tough Dallas Stars team where you have Jamie Benn, who Red Wings fans are not unfamiliar with him. They know him very well, who broke Dylan Larkin's neck, basically. And so, yeah, I wanted them to come in here and jam it down their throats, and they did in the first period. I really thought so. Then it takes a turn, a huge 180 turn on us, where the Dallas Stars kind of took everything over second period, and Stars get one right away to tie it 2-2, making lines stretch out to try and make the save off a tic-tac-toe play. So it's kind of on Alex DeBrincat after the game. Alex DeBrincat did call himself out on it. He was along the boards next to the player who did get the tying goal for it. And so he just beat Alex DeBrincat on a foot race. And so Alex DeBrincat knew that it was his bad. So good on Alex DeBrincat at least for calling himself on that. So Stars then make it 3-2. I almost said 6-3. 3-2. Klim Kostin tried to clear the puck off a weird bounce off the boards in front of the net, but Rupe Hintz was there and was able to sneak it in 5-hole on Alex Line. And Rupe Hintz, Matt, this is not going to be the first or the last time that you hear his name, because here he comes again pretty soon here. 4-2 Stars because of a bad giveaway, and we collapse in our own zone when pressure comes knocking. Sprong had a bad giveaway with a back pass to an open Star player to create the scoring opportunity. I know Derek jokes around about this, but yeah, you probably could have just not had Lyon in net that whole entire second period. You probably could have had the same result. That's not a bash on Lyon
Yeah.
either. That's Derek jokes around about that, but yeah, kind of something like that. So, but yeah, Matt, I'm gonna bring up Rupe Hintz again because this play that he made to make it 5-2, honestly, it showed me how dominant Rupe Hintz really is in the league, and he really is super underrated in this league. I mean, Hintz makes it 5-2 with another wings turnover by Larkin in his own zone, trying to clear it at the blue line. Yeah, there was an instance where Rupe Hintz literally just stripped the puck from him, not even cross-checked him, but pushed him down to the ice. He went into the offensive zone, trying to create pressure, got into the spot where the puck was, and was able to bury the puck in the net to make it 5-2. And so on that shift alone, it was just immaculate. I was so shocked to see that. I have him in fantasy, so the points were awesome to have, but against the Detroit Red Wings team, yeah, he clearly showed why he is a threat, and he's a very, very good center in the NHL. Matt, honestly, from here, I honestly thought the game was over. I was about ready to turn it off, but then I remembered the Red Wings have the most comebacks in the NHL this season, I'm pretty sure. And so they almost do, but let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. After the second period, the Wings ended being outshot 32-18. So pretty much a completely different episode of what we saw in the Tampa Bay Lightning game, right? Where it was 30 shots to 10 shots. Now it's 32 to our 18. And so the Red Wings just simply needed to pick it up. The second period was just not good enough. And so you start the third period pulling Lyon. It was a questionable call to put Reimer in, but I understood it. You didn't want Lyon to keep getting peppered out there like that. And so, Matt, Fisher gets 5 minutes into the third to make it 5-3, but the refs call it offside, buddy. Good call or no call?
No, yeah, that was a good call. I mean, it was kind of hard to see in the moment, but once you see the replay, it was clear as day that was offside. But sucks that it was because could have been a tie game, and maybe they could have won in overtime. So that sucks, but it was the right call.
Are you a believer that they should change the wording on the offsides rule? On what qualifies an onside puck. If the puck touches any part of the blue paint and any part of the skate is touching the blue paint, they call it onsides. Are you a believer in that, or do you like it the way it is currently?
I don't know. I think I like it the way it is right now. I think it makes the most sense right now. I don't really see why it needs to be changed, to be honest. I guess it would eliminate a lot of offside reviews because those always take an unnecessarily long amount of time. But I think the way it is right now, I don't know if you really need to change the rule. I think you just need to. I don't really know what you need to do. Like sometimes it's so blatant that like you don't really need to review it. So I guess it's just one of those things about hockey. Like people try and change the rules of hockey to get those like little pet peeves out of there, but maybe that's just part of the game. I don't know.
Sometimes it is part of the game, although I do think it would create more scoring if they did go the route of the question that I brought upon you. If the part of the puck is just touching the blue paint and part of the skate's touching the blue paint, I think that would create more scoring in the league. And who doesn't love more scoring, Matthew? I do. The Red Wings are doing it, and I love it. It get me on my seat.
Yeah, I mean, the only people who don't like more scoring is goalies. And I guess defensemen too, but they score goals.
Yeah, and goalies get paid a lot anyways, so
yeah.
They'll figure it out.
You get paid to sit behind the team and try and stop the pucks. That's the job description, right? Try and stop the pucks.
Yeah, you try and stop the puck.
Yeah.
Well, they sell themselves saying that they can save a puck and stop it, but yeah, let's be real. You're trying to stop the puck because that's what it is. But yeah, okay, Matt. Okay, no, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the way that it is too. Would I like for them to change it? I think it would be interesting, maybe a little bit. I think if you said that whole blue paint thing, if both are just touching, it's good. I think it would be great. It would definitely maybe decrease the time it takes to review some of these calls. But that one, honestly, was painless. And so, yeah, good call by the refs overall. But yeah, it would have been the tying Matthew.
Tying goal in the game.
Tying goal in the game. Jesus.
There you go. Spit it out.
Mush mouth today. My goodness. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. All right, guys. Yep. Wings head to the power play, 9 minutes left off a Dallas holding call, and Larkin makes it 5-3 again. Larkin continues his point streak. Matthew. And another assist by Raymond, who has 2 tonight. So good for him. Wings then pull Reimer, and Comfer makes it 5-4. Matt, is this a Red Wings comeback that we were smelling? No, it is not, because then Dallas puts the puck over the glass, delaying the game. 39 seconds left. Wings even had 6 skaters to Dallas's 4. And the Red Wings just cannot put it away, and the Red Wings lose 5-4, being outshot 38-34. Overall, Matt, what do you think about the game? Yeah, I mean, we kind of just said it. Second period was horrible. They led the whole entire first period, and third period was kind of a mixed match. I mean, they came back, but it could have been tied if Fisher just kept his skate a little bit closer to the blue line. So, best loss the Red Wings have had all season?
I guess. Yeah, sure. I don't like any of the losses, but yeah, I guess they at least tried at the end. You take the second period out. This is actually a great game. So that's how I'm going to choose to look at it. But, this is just another one of those games where you wish the Wings weren't in the hole they had to climb out of, and they were, but at least you can say that they never quit on the game. It's absolutely true. I mean, they, up until, really Dallas cleared it and there was 5 seconds left, that they were in that game. And, it's just like you said with the disallowed offsides goal, it could have been a tie game. And they had a lot of different chances pretty much throughout the entire third period. It felt like they controlled play at least 90% of that third period, and they had a lot of great chances. I mean, there was a couple chances by Raymond and Perron that I can't believe. I still sit here and can't believe they weren't goals. So, yeah, that just goes to show this team absolutely does not quit. They are for sure, they're missing Kane. I don't think that he's such a huge loss that they can't even tread water. I think they've been playing fine with the exception of one period. So, yeah, I think overall, you're never comfortable losing a game, and especially seeing the way they played for 2/3 of that game. But I think you can be partially satisfied with the results, I suppose.
I guess from the aspect of, and I even tweeted this out last night on our podcast Twitter account or X account, whatever you want to call it. Even though it was a loss, you cannot sit there and say that this team was not exciting playing in that game. They had me out of my seat watching them be 6-on-5 and then going 6-on-4, Matthew. The last 5 minutes, they had me on the edge on my seat and then even standing up in hopes that they would actually tie the game. And they kind of almost did. Like you said, I believe it too, that they at least led 90% of that third period. It was theirs for the taking, and good on them for pumping on the gas. They do it the complete opposite, where they let off the gas, park the bus, and allow the other team to come attack them. They did the complete opposite, and they did it to this Dallas team. And honestly, Dallas got lucky. I think they got very lucky. They took advantage in the second period of the Red Wings downfall. Had you have played this game again, I think the Detroit Red Wings would have won this game very easily. I think they just got unfortunate luck and just made really silly mistakes. That's all it was. And that's why I say, had they played this game again, it would have went a different direction. You would have gotten the 2 points. And that's kind of why, too, I sit here today, and it's kind of like the best loss that they've had, because you got to see a lot, and you got to see this team showcase that, hey, when we get down, we're not out, and we're going to come back, and we're going to bite a kneecap. You like that reference, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, shout out Dan Campbell. Hell yeah.
Shout out Dan Campbell.
Yeah, the Lions aren't the only team that can bite off a kneecap.
Nope, and we have a Lion on the team. Go Alex Lion. And so, Matt, yeah, that's it for the game recaps. The next upcoming games will be against the Philadelphia Flyers, which will... No, we won't. I'll cut that part out. So the Red Wings will play against the Philadelphia Flyers. Line will be starting in that we did here. And then kind of just going into some Red Wings news. That's a nice kind of segue into it, where we did get news that Patrick Kane was practicing today, but not fully. It's a good sign at the very least, right, Matt? I mean, we're saying here today, and we said it a couple times, where we don't need him to rush back, but we would love to have him back. Yes, he definitely much is a bright spot in this lineup and does a lot of good things for this team.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and it's nice to see that he is going to be resuming practice because I felt like once he was out, you really didn't get any indication of when he'd actually come back. So
Right.
it's nice to see that he's actually finally edging back to playing, and I don't know if there's a timetable yet. I mean, honestly, we have, 3 games until the All-Star break? I really
Yeah.
wouldn't mind if they just keep him out all 3 of those games. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that serious that he needs to sit out 3 more games, but it's just to play it safe. We got 3 games coming up. I think at least 2 of those are winnable games. So yeah, I don't think they need to rush him back.
No, 100%. And if you can at least pick one game, I mean, yeah, just like you said, like I think 2 of the 3 are at least winnable. You're going up against Philadelphia tomorrow, Thursday on the 25th at 7 p.m. at home. You then play Vegas Golden Knights at home Saturday night at 8 p.m. That's going to be a really tough game. If they can squeak out a point in that game, I'll take it. Because that showcases once again that you can compete with the other top teams in this league and that this team can be a playoff team. That's more that you sell to your general manager to not sell players at the deadline. And so the Red Wings really need to compete there. But yeah, if there was a game that I could pick, Matthew, it's definitely against the Ottawa Senators. No offense to them, but kind of a little offense to them. They suck, right? I mean, they've been doing a little bit better, I guess, but that would probably be the best team that I would pick. And then you get 10-day break after that. So, but yeah, I'm right there with you. If they don't bring him back, it's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just glad that all the rumors and speculation can finally go out the window. And there were a lot of people doing that outside of Red Wings fandom, just saying it's definitely a hip thing. You should be worried that the Red Wings aren't saying anything. Because you're right, they really weren't saying too much. They were just saying, oh, he could be back before the break, but there's a chance that he could be back after the break. And it's like, okay, you already said that it's not the hip. Then why don't you just say that his ass is just super bruised at this point? Please. Just so that way we have a little bit of clarity
Just
there.
say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say anything.
So at least we do. We have some clarity about it. We saw him practicing today. He was taking some shots and the full contact jersey and everything. And so, yeah, just not a full participant. So taking it a little bit lightly out there. So in other news, though, yep, Sherratt is day to day. And so that's still currently the news update for Ben Sherratt. He is still currently day to day. It kind of seems like that the team misses him a little bit, man. I mean, they let in 5 goals. They definitely could have used his veteran and gritty presence out there for that second period against the Dallas Stars. Would you agree with me on that? I know you're not a big fan of Ben Sherratt, but you cannot lie that he has not been better this season. He definitely has been better this season and not as much of a liability.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought I'd be sitting here in this chair. I feel like literally this exact day last year, I was absolutely ripping him a new one, and I'm gonna have to give him his flower. I'm gonna have to give him his flowers, man. Like he's been really good this year, and I don't know if that's just because of the supporting cast around him. We really don't have the best defenseman on this team. I think it's more than fair to say that. But even if that weren't true, like he's still been better. Like I don't know why. I think he just maybe needed a season to acclimate with the team, maybe find his role.
Yeah.
I really don't know what it is. I don't know if he came off any injuries. I don't think he did, but he seems to have been slowly but surely figuring it out. And, after this season, we got 2 more seasons with him. If he can just keep this up, maybe improve a little bit, and then we can just say bye-bye to him in the offseason, I'm totally fine with that. But, yeah, it's actually weird. It's gotten to a point where he's been absent, and you kind of do feel his absence, to be honest. Never thought I'd say that.
And it's funny that you mentioned this time last year, because I'm pretty sure this time last year is when he hit Raymond into the boards and Raymond missed time. And that really was a huge detriment to the team because Raymond was not the same ever since after that injury. So
you're probably right. I was ready to send him to the KHL, one-way stop. No return ticket.
One-way stop, yes, Matthew. Okay, and in other Red Wings news, Marco Kasper. Let's go into the AHL a little bit. Marco Kasper was named the AHL Player of the Week, posting 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points in the 2 games that they played against the Manitoba Moose, where the Grand Rapids Griffins actually, in both those games, they were down 3-goal deficit, Matt. They came back to win both those games. Is that insane or is that not insane? Because I think that's pretty freaking insane, and I haven't kept up with it lately, but I know a couple days ago, if not yesterday, in his last 10 games, Marco Kasper has 11 points.
Yeah, he's really breaking onto the scene in the AHL, and I think that's for two different reasons. Number one, he obviously came over from Sweden last year off a really good season with Rogla. They got in the playoffs. I think they only won like one round, didn't get that far, but Marco Kasper was definitely one of their better players last year. He was super important piece for them at only 19 years old. I think he was only 19 last year when he was playing. So, yeah, that's great to see. And, of course, the SHL is a men's league. So going over to the AHL where it's, sort of a mix of like grown-ups and, just younger hockey players, maybe you just have all that more maturity. So it really helps you elevate your game. And, I think just the fact that he was on a smaller ice surface, which, European players, they always have like a little bit of transition period before they can get used to that smaller space and just, when, like how much time you have to make plays, know the right level of physicality you need, all this timing and spacing, everything. And, also he had a pretty big injury last year. He's coming off a shattered kneecap. Like, I banged my kneecap on the coffee table and I'm pretty much bedridden for a week. So I can't imagine shattering my kneecap. It sounds absolutely awful. I don't know if you know this, Zach, but you kind of need your kneecaps to skate. Kind of need to bend your knees while you're skating. So it's an important part of your body. So I think that's why you saw that he was really off to a slow start in Grand Rapids, and a lot of people were looking at him just being like, okay, well, this is a small sample size, but like what's going on here? Like he's kind of going sort of backwards in his development, and then you're just once you see that, you're starting to put together, the whole puzzle of his future career. Like, okay, is this guy he's just going to be a bottom six center? Like we're not really excited for that. He was an 8th overall pick, and here we are now. He's exploded on the scene, and I hope he keeps it up for the rest of the season and really into the off season. Who knows? Maybe you could see him make the team out of camp. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but wouldn't that be something?
It would be something. There absolutely is a shot. Is there a shot for him to make it as a center? That's a long shot, I think. It really just depends on what they plan to do with Valeno. But I think there is a shot for him to at least make it as a winger, and he could be a really good shutdown winger. I think you could probably put him on some penalty kill time. You can put him on some sheltered minutes 5-on-5 on the third line or even the fourth line if you wanted to. Maybe not the fourth line, but nonetheless, yeah, if there's an opportunity for him there could be. I think the competition there for him would be someone like Carter Mazur. I think Carter Mazur is also a player. Even Jonathan Berggren, we keep on forgetting him a little bit too, I think. I think we keep on kind of looking at some of these younger players, and we keep on hearing that Jonathan Berggren could be circulating in the trade rumors, and he definitely has. And that kind of sucks, right? Because I definitely think that he could be a huge part of this team and for the long haul too. But we know that he wasn't drafted by Yzerman, and so. But yeah, going and talking about Marco Kasper a little bit more, Matt. In the 36 games played, he's got 19 points. He's got 6 goals, 13 assists. And if you're to project that right now in 72 games finishing out, he's got 12 goals. He would have 12 goals, 26 assists for 38 points. That's a little over half a point per game player. He's got a little gritty side to him where he's got 36 or 18 penalty minutes right now, and he's on pace for 36, so double that a little bit. So, yeah, he's kind of projected outlook is to be kind of like a Brad Marchand light, honestly. That player who's going to get in your face, he's going to be a little shit to you, and he can produce a little bit too. So if he can be just a lesser version of Brad Marchand, I'm taking that all day long, and he definitely can be that. I think we saw a little bit in that Toronto game that he did play last year when he got called up. Maybe we'll see a little bit of him towards the end of the season. Who knows? But yeah, what he's doing down there in Grand Rapids Griffins is amazing. He is playing in a more sheltered bottom 6 role. He's majority playing on the third line as the center. As long as he's getting the playing time and he keeps producing like this, it's only a matter of time that he's just going to bump up. But I don't know. He's got some friendly competition there with Amadeus Lombardi. Pretty soon he's going to have Nate Danielson too. So, Matt, there's a lot to be seen here with Marco Kasper. And so I don't think that I think the best is yet to come, to be honest with you. So we're just going to have to wait and see what else he can do. And hopefully some of these other players can start following suit. And Carter Mazur is someone who has also been doing that. So maybe we can touch on some of these prospects in another episode down the line here pretty soon, because I feel like we haven't shown them much love so far this year. So yeah, we'll plan on that one a little
Been
bit.
a lot happening with the Red Wings. I mean,
It's great. Yeah,
previous seasons
right now.
Previous seasons we just been like, well, I don't really give a shit what's happening with the team. Like, what are our guys doing down in Grand Rapids? They're pretty good, right? So there's a lot to actually focus on that's really good. And I mean, there's some bad too, but it's been an exciting season. And going back to his point totals and his point pace, like the fact this guy plays the style of game that he does, he's like that really gritty forward, and he's like a two-way player. Like usually those two-way players, you kind of see they don't produce that much offensively, just given the fact that they're trying to focus on really doing two things at once on the ice. But I mean, 38-point pace, like that's really good for like any AHL rookie, even given the fact that he plays the way that he does. So yeah, if he hits his ceiling, which I mean that's still a massive if. He's only 20 years old and has only just now broken out in the AHL. I mean, he could really be a great shutdown player for us, and he could be super tough to play against. I don't remember. I think I compared him to like Lehkonen, like that type of player. Or no, it wasn't Lehkonen. It was Deneau in LA. Philip Deneau. I think he could really blossom into a player like that. I could really see him at his ultimate ceiling being a player like him. That like shutdown center, super tough to play against, and can chip in some offense too. So it'll be very interesting to watch his career.
I would love to have a Philip Deneau on the Red Wings in the future. Hopefully he turns into someone like that, because he's doing very well with the LA Kings over there in La La Land.
Yeah, a lot better than that other guy who really wanted to be there.
Oh boy, yeah, that's a topic for a different conversation. I mean,
boy, is it ever.
Good luck to them. Good thing that's not us. And so, yeah, once again, I'm going to bring up Brogan Rafferty, who was sent back down to the Grand Rapids Griffins on Wednesday, which is today. So 4 times, 3 times, however many times it was, this guy gets recalled, sent back. Poor guy, Matthew. Honestly, I really don't know what else to say. He just keeps on going through like those revolving doors that you have at hotels.
This guy is literally like the Simpsons meme with the grandpa. I don't what is his name? Is it like Abe or something?
I don't remember his name, but he grabs his hat walking in and like walks out.
And he just walked right out. That's literally who he is at this point.
Poor kid. Yeah, and then Kane practices today, but not fully. So once again, yep. And then Matt. All right. Let's kind of do a little bit of a deep dive about the month of January with the Detroit Red Wings. And so before entering the game against the Dallas Stars last night, Matthew, the Red Wings in the month of January, with 9 games played, I'm going to name you off some stats right here. They were 5th in shots against per game with 34, 29th in shots per game, 25.89, 5th in goals against, 23, 12th in goals for at 29, and then 3rd in points percentage, 0.833. Mind you, some teams had played a couple more games than them, so the statistics are a bit skewed there, right? Not everyone's playing the same amount, but based on those numbers, Matt, is there anything in particular that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much just like the goals allowed, right? Like we've all of a sudden got some great goaltending now, and we've pretty much ridden with Alex Lyon. I think Reimer's only had like 1 or 2 games that he's actually started in, not counting last night where he had to come in the third. Yeah, Alex Lyon, I mean, he's literally everything we've needed. Like, I'm not like gonna like criticize him by saying this, but if we had him, or I guess really even like Husso or Reimer playing like this in the month of December, like, dude, we'd be in a divisional seed right now. We're not even talking about second wild card, and we'd probably have that thing locked up right now. So yeah, we're finally getting the goaltending that we need. I don't think it's time yet to put the goaltending talk to bed. I think we do still need to really go out and take a big swing and get an upgrade around the deadline, the trade deadline, or if not in the offseason. But yeah, Alex Lyon, he's definitely earned the number 1 spot right now, and it's pretty much his as long as he wants it to be.
100%.
Yeah, and I mean, we still have Husso out. How long is he out for? He's out for like what, another 2 or 3 weeks? I don't even really know how long he's out.
I did not watch the press conference today, unfortunately, with Derek Lalonde at the practice. I only heard what was said on Twitter, so I didn't hear it. I just read it. But I would imagine it's got to be upcoming. If it's not next week, then at this point, I would not be upset if they just did the same thing like we said with Kane. Just let them come back, or you let them start for the Ottawa Senators game. I really don't know, but one thing that I'm kind of nervous about against, if we want to talk about the Ottawa Senators real quick, is that I'm nervous that they're going to do what they did to us last year, is basically just ragdoll us to the point where we don't want you making the playoffs if we're not going to make it, right? And so that's one thing I'm a little nervous about. So maybe
I really think that's going to happen. I mean, I remember last year that like Ottawa, like they were ahead of us. Like they actually looked like they could have been a playoff team, and then they kind of just stumbled to the gate, or I guess they didn't even really get to the gate. They get his playoffs last year. They kind of just stumbled to end their season, and they missed. So this year, that is absolutely not the case for the Ottawa Senators. They're, I think, still dead last in the Atlantic. At least, I mean, they're all the way down there. They might be still below Buffalo, but yeah, they've not been a good team. Like, sure, they've played a little bit better in their last few games. I don't really like want to pencil it in because like even this year, like Ottawa did kind of spank us at home, but we did still beat them once. So that just kind of seems like a team where, you know, you get teams like this, like rivals all the time, not just in the NHL, but sports in general, where there's just that one team they have on the calendar and they just look at them and just like, well, we're not going to lose to you because we kind of hate your guts. So we're actually going to bring our A game. I feel like that's Ottawa with us. So can't really take them for granted, just seeing how far below they are from you. You still have to treat them like any other opponent. I mean, we're talking about a team that lost to the Ducks and the Sharks this year, and they're literally battling for Macklin Celebrini right now. So you can't really overlook any opponent in the NHL. But yeah, if they can just get like 2 out of 3 wins, or maybe just like 1 win, 1 overtime loss, and that's how they end the month of January, I'm honestly okay with that. I think that's a really good month of hockey looking back on it, and it's really exactly how they needed to respond after December. Still have a long way to go for the playoffs. They can't take any games for granted, any points for granted. It's really just going to be a dogfight pretty much every single game, and it's no one's fault but the team. They kind of put themselves in this hole, and I got to climb out of it, but they can do it. They're showing that they're slowly getting out, so I still have faith in them until they fall on their faces. I hope they don't. But yeah, I think if they could just finish the month strong, that's really all I need to see out of them. And then we'll go into the All-Star break. Some guys will get healthy. I'll have Kane back. Hopefully have Husso back by then. And maybe we're up to full strength then. And we can just keep humming down the road.
Yeah. And kind of circling back to these stats before the Stars game. I mean, 5th in shots against. I mean, if that doesn't scream that you need a little bit better of defending on your squad, I don't know what does. I mean, 34 shots against per game. That seems a little bit on the overage side, right? Where you're 5th, right? And then after last night's game, Matt, I guess talking about the stats that I said before the game really didn't matter. Let's talk about the stats after the Stars game, because now that's where the Red Wings currently stand. In the month of January, after the Stars game, losing 5-4, the Red Wings right now, currently in the month of January, have a record of 7-2-1. They are 3rd in shots against per game with 34.4. So that went up by almost 0.5. So almost half a shot they went up because of the Dallas Stars winning against them. 26th in shots per game. So they increased their shot total, which is awesome. They almost went up by 1 shot. 7th in goals against. They dropped because they allowed 5 goals. 11th in goals for. They went from 29 to 33. Okay. And then 4th in points percentage. They dropped 1 spot there and now have a points percentage of. Oh, that might be wrong. I have 0.833. That might be wrong. So, anyways, but yeah. And then also I put here, Matt, I did not know this. The Red Wings are 2nd in power play percentage. 31%. They're right behind Tampa Bay Lightning at 36.7%. And then on the PK, they're 13th at 79.2%. Special teams really has come a long way in this month. I remember in December, we were pulling our hair out. It looked like that the power play could not convert. They could not stop anything on the PK. But even talking about some of these other numbers, yeah, the shots against, they got to do something about it. And they block a lot of shots in games too, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Red Wings are one of the highest block shots teams in the league right now. And they're still allowing 34 shots against on net against the Alex Lyon. And that just goes to show you how good Alex Lyon has been for your team. And the team needs to show up a little bit better. And how do you do that? By playing a little bit more shutdown defense. And do you know who did that against us? The Carolina Hurricanes. Do you know who should have taken a page out of their book? Derek Lalonde and the Detroit Red Wings. And honestly, they kind of did that against Tampa Bay, but not against the Dallas Stars. So how do the Red Wings stay a little more consistent by being more shut down? I think they kind of have to go out and get that player who is a defensive forward, more of a defensive shutdown defenseman. If Steve Yzerman can go out and get those at the trade deadline, or even sooner, you're going to have great success. Much more than what they're currently having. And that's not even to downplay what they're doing because they're playing fantastic, but I think Lyon is overshadowing it a little bit. I think if you took Alex Lyon away and you replaced it with Husso, you wouldn't be 7-2-1 right now. I mean, 7th goals against, that also comes from Alex Lyon. The goals for, great, that's awesome. But you're not shooting a lot. I think you're getting very lucky with some of these goals that are going in. Shooting it or scoring is at its all-time highest, but being 26th in shots per game at 26.7, Matt, compared to the 34 that you're allowing, do you think that's got to change a little bit, or do you think that this is something that they can just keep maintaining and staying at the bottom of the league in terms of shooting per game?
I don't know. I mean, I like your idea of trying to go out and just get like another like shutdown forward, like very defensive forward. I do actually kind of like the fact, like I like the way this team is built, where like they do have some good shutdown forwards, but then they also have the guys like Daniel Sprong who plays in the bottom 6, Patrick Kane who plays in the top 6.
Yeah.
Even Alex DeBrincat, like he's not like a defensive black hole, but he is really there more for offense. Like he does have some good defensive parts to his game. So I feel like there needs to be a good mix between offense and defense, because then you just kind of get the Carolina Hurricanes or the New York Islanders, where they're not really built to go very far in the playoffs. And I say that as an Islanders fan, so it pains me to say that. But hey, we just got Patrick Waugh, so I guess we'll see how that goes. It's very interesting. But yeah, I think there needs to be like a pretty good balance. And I think the Wings almost have it. They almost do. I think there's some guys in the bottom 6 that could up their offense a little bit more, but you know, they are good defensively. I think it really just comes down to our defensemen. It's also team defense as a whole. I mean, we can't really blame one part of the puck or one side of the puck or however you want to say it. I think it comes down to pretty much everybody. They need to know what their job is and do it night in and night out. I just think the fact that we're finally getting good goaltending, like, yeah, when Husso was playing bad, the team, it's true. They hung him out to dry. I saw plenty of games where they hung him out to dry, but he also let in some softies. And Alex Lyon really isn't letting in any softies. He's a very confident goaltender. Yeah, I mean, he's a very confident goaltender. You can tell he's playing with a lot of poise right now. You can tell that not only he believes in himself, but the team also believes in him, which is huge for a goalie's confidence. So I think that's why you see he's playing so well. I hope they're not going to make the same mistake they did with Nedeljkovic, Ville Husso, I guess also a little bit Jimmy Howard in his later career, but it might also just be because he's old. I just don't want them to ride him until the wheels fall off, because when the wheels fall off, they fall off hard, and you can't really put them back on. So I kind of hope they figure out the defensive side of the puck sooner rather than later, so they don't need him to stand on his head night in and night out, which I don't really think he's been doing that, but eventually we'll get to that point. They just can't let it get to that point. They need to be more consistent with their team defense. I think the offense right now, it's really not a problem. And then when you get Patrick Kane back, it's only going to make it better. So I think that's really what they need to work on. And it's like you said, special teams, it's been really good. Like their penalty kill is still top of the league. I think, what did we have, 2 power play goals last night? We at least had 1.
It was dang near all of them, if it wasn't all of them. I think 3 out of the 4, if not all 4, were power play goals.
I mean, there you go. So now the power play is finally converting. So, like, special teams and goaltending, that makes the difference not only in the regular season, but the playoffs too. Like, you see plenty of teams. I remember Florida a couple of years ago, they won the President's Trophy and they had one of the top power plays in the entire league. They got into the playoffs and their power play was like over 25. And they got bounced in the second round. So that is the difference between the teams who are just going to sneak in and kind of slip into the playoffs, really not do that much, and the teams that really will elevate their game and go on a run. That's the difference right there.
Yeah. And going back to Alex Lyon and his 18 games that he has started for the Detroit Red Wings this season, he owns a 2.67 goals against, which is very good, and a 919 save percentage. I'm very sure that he is currently, Matt, I believe that he is a top 5 goaltender in this league based on everything that is said and done. He might not be a household name right now, but gosh darn it, I think that he can be one by the end of this season, and people better be putting some respect on Alex Lyon's name. But I'm right there with you. The team can't be riding him like this, because that's exactly what we've done with all of our goaltenders in the past. Ville Husso. Oh boy, who was even before him, Matthew? Please help me out. Alex Nedeljkovic.
We did that with Nedeljkovic.
Who was before that?
I guess like the corpse of Jimmy Howard. I don't really know, to be honest.
Who was the goaltender that we traded for Alex Nedeljkovic?
We had Bernier, but I mean
Bernier, yes,
Bernier just wasn't really that great.
He was he was fantastic for us during those years that we were really bad. I mean, Matt, there were a couple games where he actually played lights out for us, and it was the same situation, to be honest, with him too. And so, yeah, I really don't want that to happen with Alex Lyon. I'm going to stand pat with when I say, I hear what you're saying. I love the dynamic of this team too. I mean, that special teams are clicking, power play, PK, everyone's doing their jobs, it seemed like. The one thing that this team keeps on doing is just making silly mistakes. However, I do think that there always is room for improvement. And so if you take one key element of your team and you can somehow improve that by giving up minimal to do it, I think you should go out and do that. If you have the opportunity to upgrade one of your forwards to be just as productive points-wise, but improve the defense by bringing in a different player and the same production, and it only costs you a third, I'm probably going to do that, to be honest with you. If you think that they're a playoff team and by chance you can get out of the first round. I mean, look how far the Florida Panthers freaking went last year, Matt. And they only got in because the Pittsburgh Penguins lost to the Chicago freaking Blackhawks, who ended up getting Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Anything is possible in the NHL. And so, gosh darn it, Matt. Yes, if that's what it's going to take, then yeah. But I also understand, we were saying this last month, there was a huge systems issue. They were not playing very well defensively. Mm-hmm. They are playing a little bit better now in this month in January. And they do have those weird one-off periods, much like you said, the second period had the worst period that they probably played all year. Had you have taken that away, like I said, probably would have been a different game. They probably would have won that game. But yeah, hopefully coaching staff just kind of figures it out on a systems perspective. You know, maybe Patrick Kane coming back helps it out a little bit. I mean, now that Patrick Kane's been out, I'm pretty sure that they're 1-2. So hopefully that doesn't jinx them. But hopefully it's nothing but up from here. I'm hoping for a really good February. I'm hoping for a strong end to the month. Yeah, like you said, if you can get one win and then a tie out of it, I think that is a good win. But I'm expecting 4 out of 6 points, to be honest with you. I think
I prefer 6 out of 6, to be honest. But
no more moral victories. You know, it's guns a-blazing. You go head hunting. You go and bite their kneecaps off, Dan Campbell style Detroit Lions. And so if we need Amon Ross Brad to come out here and talk some German to Mo Seider to give him some inspiration, even though he doesn't need it, he's been really good too. If we wanted to touch on him real quick, we don't have to, but by golly, a lot of
Amon Ross Brown. Yeah, he's been really good for the Lions.
Him and Mo Seider, yes, both the German boys.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Seider's been great, despite the fact that he hasn't really been putting up any offense, which is kind of interesting. Like, I think maybe Lalonde has just said, like, listen, like, you are such a damn good defenseman, and we've been getting caved in and night out on the defensive side of the puck. Maybe he's just telling him, like, listen, like, your offense will come through your game. Just go out there, defend to the best of your abilities, and that's all we need from you. Yeah, like, the fact I think he's been putting this foot like 7 or 8 games. It's been a long time. I don't think that's really going to continue. I think he's just in a scoring slump, but that's just what I love so much about Mo Sider. He's not one of those guys that just, like, when he's out there on the ice and he's not scoring, it's just like, okay, throw this guy on the bench. Like, no, he's a difference maker night in and night out, no matter what it is that he's doing. I think it's also the fact he's not getting as much power play time, which I think is kind of interesting. But the power play is clicking right now, so if it ain't broke, don't break it, as they say.
But yeah, Matt, I think that's good stuff. I think honestly that's a lot of good stuff on the main topic there. So I think we can kind of go to the around the league news. And so, Matt, Tom Fitzgerald and the New Jersey Devils have agreed to a multi-year extension. Fitzgerald was also promoted to president of hockey ops with GM title. Sweet. Good for him. They're not really doing that great this year, but good for him.
I guess now to earn his money, he's got to go out and make a splash for a goaltender, because goddamn, does their goaltending suck.
I mean, much like half the league, man, goaltending this year really is a sore spot for the whole entire league. I mean, I get it, but like, yeah, they definitely need to upgrade somehow. And you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. I could say that for a different episode. Anyways, yeah,
I know what you were gonna say. Let's move on.
No. It was actually not that. I know what you're thinking, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's related to my name.
No, it definitely wasn't that. That's not what I was thinking. No, but Matt, Petr Mrazek, former Red Wings legend, signs a 2-year extension with the Chicago Blackhawks worth just over $4 million per season, I believe. And so, Matt, yeah, former Red Wings legend Petr Mrazek, how much do you miss him? And that's another goaltender off the market. Some Red Wings fans actually were thinking about potentially bringing him back if he was going to go for like a third or a fourth.
No, that ship has sailed. That bridge has been burned. I did like him when he was here. I guess he had attitude issues. I can't comment on that because I don't really know if that's true or not. But yeah, I mean, he could have been the next franchise goalie for us. He's kind of had an up and down career. You know, he wasn't so great in Philly and Toronto before he got to Chicago. And, it's nice. He's going to be there for 2 more years. There's literally zero expectations on that team right now. It's just get Bedard in there, have him score goals, and we don't really care what else happens. So, I mean, he's getting up there, and these might be the last 2 years of his career. Chicago was a really nice city to retire in. I guess if you have a summer or a winter house somewhere, because those winters are brutal, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm happy for him. I've always been a fan of him, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, good for Mrazek.
Yeah, Petr Mrazek, for those of you who don't know, he was drafted by the Detroit Red Wings back in 2010. He was a 5th round draft pick. And then within that time, he spent quite a bit of years with the Detroit Red Wings. And yeah, I don't think it was, what do you call it, personality or character issues, Matt?
Yeah, well, I just remember, this is going back 6 or 7 years, and it was kind of around the same time we had the expansion draft with Vegas. He was kind of, actually, it was even before the expansion draft. I remember that he was kind of viewed as the backup for his last year or so in Detroit, and I just heard a whole bunch of rumors that he was either going, I don't know if it was the coach or maybe it was Ken Holland at the time, and he was just frustrated with his usage. He thought that he should be the number 1 starter over Jimmy Howard. I think he had a case. Yeah, I mean, I think he had a case. I was on his side back then. I thought he was definitely playing a lot better than Jimmy Howard. He, of course, was younger than him, so it made more sense to make him the full-time starter, given the fact that Jimmy was kind of on his way out. And then, I mean, you saw he retired 2 seasons after, so I guess we were right about that. But that's pretty much all I meant about that. I think some people, I think that rubbed some fans the wrong way, the way that he was upset about his usage. But, I mean, I get it. You got to go to bat for yourself, because if you don't, no one else is. So I'm fine with it.
And to be honest, he really didn't do that well after leaving us. I mean, he got traded to the Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, to be fair to him, I probably would have been mad too if I wasn't protected by the team that I thought was going to protect me in the expansion draft. And the expansion team didn't even take you. So I mean,
Right.
I don't know what that says about you as a player, or if there's something that goes along with that, kind of like how you're saying. But yeah, he wasn't happy. I probably wouldn't have been happy either, because it shows that this team didn't really care if someone else was going to take me or not, and so that gave him kind of a sour taste in his mouth. I don't blame him. He ended up getting traded to Philly, I'm pretty sure, for a 3rd-round pick. It is what it is. We kind of thought we were going to get more in those 17 games played that he played with Philadelphia. I said it weird. He posted a 3.22 and an 891 save percentage. And from there, his best seasons came from Carolina. He played 240 game seasons, and then he had a 914 save percentage and a 2.39 and 1819. But from there, really hasn't been that good up until now, where he has a 3.01 and a 907 with the Chicago Blackhawks. Honestly, though, Matt, good for him for getting the bag and the playing time, because that's honestly what he wanted from the Detroit Red Wings all along, was just that kind of recognition. Glad that he got both of those, and can't be all that bad playing with the Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini next year, is it?
Don't even go there. Don't even start that.
Had to go there. I even tweeted it out, buddy. And then the Smith Entertainment Group, the parent company of the Utah Jazz, has formally asked the NHL to initiate the expansion process to bring a team to Salt Lake City. Matt, thoughts on that?
I think it's distracting from another big piece of news that dropped today, but we'll get into that a little later on. Yeah, okay, cool. I remember there were some rumors about Utah earlier. I guess they're picking up steam. I just, the way it is in the NHL, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, we heard about Seattle for so long. I was like, well, that's never going to happen. They're not putting a hockey team in Seattle. Lo and behold, they got one there, and they made the playoffs last year. So I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on that and wait to find out.
This was a weird time for the NHL to bring it up because of, I mean, Matt, we don't have to hide it. We could just bring it up. Yeah, Hockey Canada. There's that huge thing going on, right? Where some players were called into Canada to go into for some talking, and so not really trying to go into it, but yeah, what's going on is very unfortunate, and it's messed up. Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit on that too, Matt, but I think that this is a great location for them. I think it's a weird time that the NHL brought it up, but
no, I mean, I think you knew exactly what they were doing. I think they were holding on to this news. Said now's the time to do it.
They did, yeah. But kind of going back to the subject at hand, yeah, I think Utah probably is the best spot for this. Personally, I believe. I heard the owner of the Utah Jazz talk about all the good things that they're doing with their basketball program and how they can implement that with hockey. I get it. Team Quebec wants a team again. Okay, cool. I get the whole have another team in Texas thing. I get it. My company that I work for is out of Texas. I talk to people who live in Texas, and it's very much a football state. You know, they're not really a big hockey fan base there, but I'm sure if they slapped a location in San Antonio or Houston, it would thrive. But I think Salt Lake City is probably the best spot here. But in terms of names, Salt Lake City, Salty Splatoons.
Sure. I mean, they're going to be playing in Utah. It's pretty religious out there. They could be the Utah Mormons, Salt Lake City Mormons. We could try that. The one thing I do want to say about Utah is like it is an interesting location, and you know, the best thing you can ever have for an expansion or a possible expansion team is an owner that is interested and will commit to you. That is why it didn't work in Atlanta, is they didn't have that. So that's really the first step they need right there. The only interesting thing about it is if this happens, it's like 3 teams in a row that are out in the West. You know, Vegas, Seattle, now Utah. So that's a little odd. There's definitely a lot of realignment that'll have to happen, but it would be cool. I could get behind it. I don't know if I'll buy their jerseys, but I could get behind it.
I think they would be pretty cool jerseys. I think they would probably be a little similar to the Seattle Kraken. You just might have to go from the dark blue to, yeah, kind of like the lighter blue, or maybe a little bit of the green in there. Who knows? I think their jerseys could be pretty cool. But hopefully it's not a Mormon, kind of like you're saying. I hope that's more the Salty Splatoon side.
What about like a nice like sky blue? That'd be
Sure.
nice. And then maybe they could do something like the Jazz where they have like the mountains incorporated in them, like maybe like the trim at the bottom. It could be like the Avalanche uniforms. I don't remember what year they
Salt
wore them,
Lake
but
City, Salt Lake City
yeah,
Mountaineers.
we'll brainstorm a little more. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it needs work. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
All right, Matt.
Salt
Well,
Lake City Sea Dogs.
Matt, did you want to touch on Hockey Canada and what surfaced? I mean, it's not a secret, right? We could just kind of touch on it. I kind of already did. So if you want to give your 2 cents on it, feel free. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really want to dive too much into it, just given the fact that we don't know the whole story and all the names. I mean, there's been some names that are speculated. I'm not going to go into it until we 100% know who was involved, but I think it's good that we're finally going to see some justice brought to light, hopefully pretty soon. I've actually heard, I think it was from Rick Westhead on Twitter, that the London police will be having a live stream. Oh, don't quote me on this, but I think it was February 5th. Our audience, just look up Rick Westhead on Twitter. He posted it today. Yeah, so we're definitely going to know some answers within the next couple of weeks. And those who were at fault will be brought to light, and we'll go from there. It's 6 years in the making, so it's finally here.
Yeah, 6 years, dude. And honestly, only because of COVID, it's taken that long. Honestly,
Right.
it really messed up the judicial system and everything all around. And so, yeah, names are circulating out there. We're not going to throw any names out there. That's not what we're here to do. But hopefully, justice is given, honestly, and hopefully everything is made right. Yeah, 6 years is a long time for that person to go through what they've been through, and so yeah, hopefully justice comes their way. And so yeah, Matt, hopefully Hockey Canada also gets what they deserve too, because they were
They will.
sued too. So yeah, poor on Hockey Canada. I will say that they should honestly be ashamed of themselves, and so should the players if they are guilty amongst what they're being accused of. So I will just leave it at that. But Matt, yeah, honestly, I hate to leave it on kind of a bad note like that, but it had to be said, and honestly, a lot of people are talking about it. But yeah, Matt, I think we're good, and we can go ahead and close off. So if you don't have anything else, final thoughts, buddy. Go ahead, lay it on us, man.
Let's go Red Wings and let's go Lions. Get ready, San Francisco. You will have your kneecaps bitten off. Win or lose, we will bite off your kneecaps. So
Honestly,
you
Matt,
may win, but you're going to limp into the Super Bowl with no kneecaps and probably get blown out.
I've been saying this all week, and I know these are your final thoughts. I've been saying this all week. Win or lose, I am very thankful of this Detroit Lions season. I think that this might be setting our expectations way too high in the future, and we know as Lions fans never to have high expectations because we've been 0-16 before, but started from the bottom. And now we're here. Continue on with your final thoughts, buddy. My bad.
Yeah, but that was back then. This is right now.
This is
what the Lions are right now.
Buddy, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, to say I'm excited would be an understatement. Like, literally, these past 2 weeks have just it's just been like a walking dream. Like, I actually can't even believe that this is real life right now. Like, I actually shed tears after that first playoff win, which I don't think I've ever like had happy tears after a sports game. Like, definitely over the last like 5 or 6 years, I've cried because the teams we root for suck. But yeah, I mean, it's really awesome to see, and I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say that I think the Lions could win this game. I don't think San Fran is all that scary. I think we could beat them.
Just wait and see, buddy.
We'll just wait and see.
Final thoughts?
That's it.
All right, nice, buddy. Yeah, my final thoughts are go Red Wings, go Lions. For those of you that are going to be downtown, I hope you have fun. Be safe. Don't get too rowdy once again. I know that the Lions are hosting a NFC Championship party at Ford Field. So if you're going, yeah, have fun. Be safe downtown, no matter what. And so, yeah, go Red Wings. Continue the momentum. End it out on a strong note. If you can get 5 out of 6 points, 4 out of 6 points out of the 6 or the 3 games, awesome. Continue it up. And then we want you to have a strong February, but also, have fun. You guys get a nice 10-day break on February 1st, starting then, and then coming back on February 10th. Boys get a nice long vacation, minus Alex DeBrincat kind of, because he has to go to the All-Star game. So he gets to have fun in a little different way. But I don't know. But anyways, yeah, Red Wings, continue it up. Lions, win or lose, I'm proud of you boys. You guys had one hell of a season. And if you continue it up, Matt, it would just be something the Red Wings actually won the Super Bowl and then hosted the draft in the same year. That would be just the city, not
that
only
would be
just the city
insane.
of Detroit, the state of Michigan is just, I don't know how it could be the butt end of everyone's jokes anymore, how Detroit is talked about, So, yeah, people better start putting respect on Detroit's name. Honestly, we're coming for you. We're going to keep biting your kneecaps. We're going to come for you, and you're not going to like it. You're going to push us down, but we're going to get back up. We're going to push you down, take out the kneecap. The other one, we're going to walk off happy into the sunset. We're going to live our lives happily ever after like we always have. So, the Detroit motto. Right, Matt? Those are
I
my
just
final
think
thoughts, buddy.
it might be a little tough to host the draft after winning the Super Bowl because I'm pretty sure we burned down the city if we won the Super Bowl. So
Probably.
that might be a
Well,
little difficult. Maybe we could just rope off the Campus Martius area and just, have everything around that just be burning, crumbling ruins of the city that once was Detroit. But yeah, once we go and get the next Hall of Famer in the draft, then we can just burn down that part of the city too. So yeah, let's go Lions.
Let's go Red Wings. Let's go Lions. And Matt, let's go ahead and close it off. We want to stop and take a second to thank y'all once again for taking a moment to actually listen to this whole video. If you actually made it all the way to the end. And so without further ado, how about you go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why don't you hit that thumbs up button? But if you are on Spotify, thanks for listening all the way to the end as well. And make sure, if you haven't already, rate us 5 stars and hit that follow button. Tell all your friends, all your family, and tell a friend to tell a friend and tell a family member to tell a family member to tell them to follow, subscribe, like, watch us, however you got to do. We appreciate it. And so, Matt, we'll see everyone on the next episode. Bye-bye.
We'll see you after the next Lions playoff win.
Woo, woo! Super Bowl!
Bye!